Hey, this is a story that I wanted to talk about, but I had a little bit of trouble finding the information about it because I had to do a little bit of digging because I couldn't find the links to some of the articles, but I ended up finding it. And if y'all hear some noise in the background, that's because I'm outside. I'm actually walking into work right now, but I wanted to do the story, so hopefully y'all can hear me. But anyway, these two women, whose name is Corinne Fisher and Christina Hutchinson, have recently come under fire because of a podcast that came out that they did a few years ago, back in 2014, talking about guys they had sexual relations with. And then the one on the left, whose name is Corinne Fisher, had got on the topic about black men that she slept with. Now this is the ultimate fetishization of black men right here. So her co-host Christina Hutchinson was asking her questions, and then Corinne Fisher had went into this whole thing about two black men that she slept with. So she didn't go into details about the first guy that she slept with, but she went into a little bit of details about the second guy. She described him as tall, athletic, had a deep voice, and everything of that nature. But then she got upset and said it wasn't enough for her because she said that he wasn't black enough for her. Christina Hutchinson, her co-host on the right, said, "What do you mean he wasn't black enough?" Basically, she said that he wasn't a quote-unquote thug or a street black person. That's what she wanted. That's what she was trying to get out of this guy. So she described him as what she liked and everything of that nature, but because he lacked that one stereotypical quality, it wasn't enough for her. People got wind of what they were saying and things of that nature and called them out on it, and rightfully so, because here you have this white woman who's objectifying black men as a sexual object. And to be honest, it doesn't surprise me whatsoever, because this is something that white women have been known to do for eons, for decades. So it doesn't surprise me in the least bit that that's how she felt. But let this be a lesson to black men out here who pine after white women. This is how most of them feel about you. And don't think that you have to go out here and try to be this clean-cut black person to try to charm your way into the hearts of a white woman. She just proved right here that that's not what she wants. And to be quite honest, this is what a lot of white women pine after anyway. And see, I blame a lot of things like social media and reality TV, because they look at that and then that's what they go after. Sorry for the constant pausing, but like I tell you, like, it's kind of noisy where I'm at, so hopefully y'all can hear me. I just wait for the stuff to pass by so I can keep the story going. But anyway, I wanted to tell y'all a little bit, like a little small story, something that recently happened with me. I was actually going to save it probably for a live stream, but since this story came about, I said this would be the perfect time to actually bring it up. So last week when I was at my job, I was working a Childish Gambino concert, and I was in my section, and of course, you know, some people there are going to get a little bit inebriated. There were two white girls in my section, and I'm guessing or assuming they might have been friends, they could have been sisters, I'm not sure, I really didn't care. So when they came back into my section, I could tell one was pissy drunk because of the way she was acting, and she had the damn beer can in her hand, and she was doing all this hooping and hollering. I didn't pay it no mind. And then I was standing right there, and you know, I could see out of my peripheral vision, I could see her friend was kind of looking at me out of my peripheral. I could tell, and you know, you get that kind of weird feeling when somebody's looking at you, and I could tell she was looking at me with these creepy, crazy looking eyes, like those kind of eyes where a woman sees you as sexually, I would say, stimulating, that they would probably jump on you if you had the chance. That's how she was kind of looking at me. And then she moved her way over close to me and says, "Hey, do you want to," she said, "Hey, come on, let's go dance." I was like, "Nah," I said, "I'm working right now, I can't dance." That's kind of what I just said. And she's like, "Oh, come on." And then she actually grabbed my arm and tried to pull me in, and I literally was able to plant my feet to the point where she couldn't pull me anymore. Reason being, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, all of the stuff that's going on with Bill Cosby at the time, that was a week ago. We know what the outcome of that was. This whole Me Too thing, all it takes is her word against mine that something can go wrong, and she's drunk. And on top of that, I'm at work. I'm on the clock. If my supervisor came by and saw me dancing with this person in the way she wanted me to dance with her, I could have lost my job. Nothing would have happened to her. And she probably wouldn't have came to my defense and said, oh, you know what, it's not his fault. I'm the one that pulled him in. I'll take the blame. She probably wouldn't have done that. True story. This really happened to me last week. But like I said, I planted my feet and dropped my weight so she couldn't pull me any further. And then I just stood there and she just like, whatever, walked off and went about her night. And then of course, about maybe 10 minutes later, her and her friend ended up leaving. I was like, thank God, because they were making me feel very uncomfortable just being right there. But that was my little story right there. But all I have to say is this. Y'all have to be very careful and everything like that. And, oh, one last thing. Because I already came about the men saying, you know, these white women, a lot of them have these tendencies to think that they can go after and get any black men that they want. To the black women, where they might hang around with you a lot, y'all need to be careful about how you describe black men to them or what you pine after, because they're going to hear that and they're going to take their cue from you. Remember, we are the trendsetters of the world. They take their cue from us from in every way, shape, form, and possible. So just keep that in mind. But that's all I really have to say about this right now. I'm going to talk to y'all later. The links to the contacts and everything, all of that good stuff will be in the description. I'll talk to you in the next one.